Hello? If you've ever stayed awake all night and felt like your brain just broke, you're not imagining it. The headache, the mood swings, the weird hunger, the mental fog so thick it feels like your thoughts are swimming through syrup. That's not just being tired. That's your entire body falling out of sync. After just 24 hours without sleep, your brain starts shutting down in ways most people don't even realize. And the worst part? It doesn't always feel dramatic. It just becomes your new normal. But tonight we're going to change that. In this video, you'll discover exactly what happens inside your body and mind when you miss a full night of sleep. The hidden systems that break down, the reasons behind that foggy, reactive state, and the one shift that can help you start reclaiming your rhythm again. Take a deep breath, settle in, and tell me. Where are you watching this from right now? Drop your city in the comments. Now, let's begin. You tell yourself it's fine. Just one night, just a few more hours, you'll catch up tomorrow, but your body is already falling apart. Most people think sleep deprivation feels like yawning and rubbing your eyes a little more than usual. But after 24 hours without sleep, you're not tired. You're neurologically impaired. It starts slow. You're staring at your screen, trying to remember what you were just doing. Your hands move, but your mind hesitates. It's like someone replaced your thoughts with molasses. Your short-term memory, gone. Reaction time, delayed. Mood, don't even try. You snap at the tiniest things, feel like crying over nothing, and suddenly every problem feels bigger than it is. And yet, weirdly, you're still awake. That's the trap. Because even though your brain is failing, it tells you. You're fine, it fakes functionality. You're sitting there thinking, I got this. But inside, it's chaos. Your body isn't resting. It's surviving, and it's doing a terrible job at hiding it. Your eyes burn. Your body feels heavier. Your stomach is off. You start craving sugar, caffeine, anything to stay alert. But nothing really works. Because your brain doesn't need stimulation. It needs a system reboot, and that only happens in sleep. But let's go deeper. Because 24 hours doesn't just make you cranky, it makes you cognitively drunk. Literally. The brain under Guillain-Sauvé sleep deprivation performs like someone with a blood alcohol content of 0.10%. That's legally drunk in the US. Except instead of slurring your words and stumbling down a bar hallway, you're answering emails, operating machinery, picking your kids up from school, thinking you're fine. Spoiler, you're not. And then, your body starts cutting power. Microsleeps. Tiny blackouts lasting milliseconds where your brain shuts down parts of itself to conserve energy. You don't notice it, but it notices you. It's why you miss turns while driving. Why you forget what someone just said. Why you suddenly drop something without realizing your grip failed. And when those milliseconds start stacking up, it gets darker. You start seeing flashes, hearing sounds that aren't there, feeling like you're floating outside your body. Not metaphorically, your brain is detaching to protect you. Because at this point, it's not just tired. It's overwhelmed. It's trying to keep you alive. You ever watch a computer crash in real time? That's you. Tabs open, fans blasting, warnings flashing, and still, you click, ignore. So your body panics. Stress hormones spike. Cortisol floods your system. Blood pressure rises. Your immune system suppressed. You are now more likely to get sick. More likely to store fat, more likely to make a decision that will cost you something important. And still, you push, you caffeinate, you convince yourself you'll sleep more tomorrow, that it's not a big deal. But here's the thing. Sleep debt doesn't pay back in one night. Your body doesn't reset like that. You don't undo inflammation with one nap. You don't fix memory loss with a Sunday morning lie-in. Every night you skip sleep is a small theft. Not from your time, from your health. And eventually, your brain starts forgetting what normal feels like. You don't notice the fog anymore. You just live in it. That's the danger, not the exhaustion, the adaptation. Because once your body gets used to chaos, you stop asking for clarity. You stop recognizing what rest feels like, and in that place, sleep isn't just a need, it becomes a rescue mission. So here's the truth. Most people avoid. Your body can survive a day without food. It can survive a day without exercise. But 24 hours without sleep? It rewires your brain in ways you won't see until it's too late. So the next time you're tempted to skip a night, finish that project, watch one more episode, scroll until sunrise, remember this. You're not just losing sleep. You're trading your clarity, your memory, your health. For what? Another hour of pretending? Your body deserves better, and tonight might be your chance to finally listen. You lay in bed and your body feels like it's made of stone. Your eyes burn. Your head throbs. You don't know if you're nauseous, dizzy, or just done. And yet you still can't sleep. You try everything. You change positions. You turn the pillow to the cold side. You breathe deeper. You close your eyes harder, hoping your brain will finally understand the message. Shut off. But it doesn't. It just keeps spinning. Thoughts that don't matter. Things you can't fix. Faces you haven't seen in years. Embarrassing moments from a decade ago. Your brain grabs them all and throws them at you like it's 3 p.m. instead of 3 a.m. And you don't know what's worse, being tired all day, or finally getting to lie down and still not finding peace. Maybe it started small. One late night, then another, then another. You told yourself it was just temporary. A deadline, a sick kid, a little stress. But now, your body feels like it's living. In a haze, you wake up feeling just as tired as when you went to bed, if you even slept at all. You forget things. You lose patience. You stare at nothing for minutes at a time and call it resting. People don't understand. They say, just sleep more, as if it were that simple. But you know better. You've tried. You've tried going to bed earlier. You've tried cutting coffee. You've tried melatonin, magnesium, sleepy teas, ASMR, white noise machines, blackout curtains, breathing apps, podcasts, warm showers, cold showers, gratitude journaling. But the nights stay long and the mornings feel shorter. And your body, it's tired of trying. You feel like a shell, like you're operating on survival mode. Just enough to function, not enough to feel. Some days, it's hard to tell where. The exhaustion ends and you begin, because this isn't just about being tired. It's about what chronic fatigue does to your sense of self. You start questioning your memory. You forget names mid-conversation. You reread the same paragraph 3 times and still have no idea what it said. You look in the mirror and don't recognize your own face, not because of age, but because of the dullness behind your eyes. You cancel plans because your body can't keep up. You lose motivation for things you used to love. You second-guess every decision because your brain can't hold clarity for more than a few seconds. And somehow, even though you're collapsing inside, you still get up. You still show up. You still pretend you're okay because the world doesn't stop just because you're exhausted. But what if you didn't have to keep living like this? What if you finally understood what's actually happening inside your body after those sleepless nights? What if you learned how even just 24 hours without rest triggers a chain reaction, physically, emotionally, neurologically, that changes the way your brain operates? And more importantly, what if you knew how to stop it? This video is not just a list of symptoms. It's not another lecture about sleep hygiene. You've heard those before, and if they worked, you wouldn't still feel this way. What you'll find here is something deeper. Not just what happens after 24 hours without sleep, but why your body reacts the way it does, why your brain starts shutting down parts of itself, why your hormones spiral, why your sense of reality begins to blur. Because once you understand the truth and the real, biological, emotional truth, you stop blaming yourself. You stop thinking you're weak. You stop thinking you're lazy. You stop punishing your body for what it's just trying to survive. And maybe, just maybe, you start giving it what it's been begging for all along. This video is for the person who's been running on empty for so long, they forgot what full even feels like. For the one who can't remember the last time they woke up and felt clear. For the one who's scared to admit how deep this exhaustion really goes. If that's you, I want you to stay until the end. Because what you'll hear today could finally explain everything you've been feeling. And more than that, it could show you a way out. This isn't about selling a miracle or pretending there's a quick fix. This is about pulling back the curtain on what sleep, or the lack of it, is really doing to your body. So you can stop guessing, stop blaming, and start reclaiming. Tonight doesn't have to be another night you dread. It can be the beginning of a reset, a rescue. Return to the version of you that didn't live inside a fog. You don't need to earn rest. You need to remember that you deserve it. And that's exactly what we're going to explore. One system, one symptom, one truth at a time. Because sleep is not the enemy of productivity, it's the foundation of who you are when you're fully alive. There's something nobody ever tells you about sleep. It's not just about rest, it's about repair. Every time you close your eyes at night, your brain isn't checking out, it's checking in, into maintenance, into detox, into healing. Sleep isn't passive, it's not the absence of activity. It's one of the most complex, biologically demanding, and life-sustaining processes your body ever performs. And when you skip it, even for one day, you're interrupting. An orchestra of survival mechanisms you didn't even know were happening. You've been told your brain rests while you sleep. But what if I told you it's the opposite? Your brain becomes more active during sleep than while you're awake. But it's a different kind of activity. Quieter, deeper, more essential. It's when your memories get sorted. It's when your hormones reset. It's when your immune system kicks into full gear. It's when your brain literally cleans itself, flushing out toxins like beta amyloid, the same toxic protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. And the system that does that? It only turns on when you're asleep. It's called the glymphatic system. Most people have never even heard of it, but it acts like the janitor of your mind, quietly sweeping away the metabolic waste that builds up every single day. Now think about that. If you're not sleeping, you're not cleaning, you're letting yesterday's mental garbage pile up, you're trying to start a new day on top of yesterday's damage, and the craziest part? Your brain knows this. That's why, after 24 hours without sleep, it starts to panic. It doesn't just want rest, it initiates emergency protocols. Your default mode network, the part of your brain responsible for introspection, creativity, and emotional processing, goes offline. Your limbic system, especially the amygdala, becomes hyperactive. This means you're more reactive, more emotional, more irrational. One study from UC Berkeley found that the emotional brain becomes 60% more reactive after one night of sleep deprivation. 60%. That's not a small mood swing. That's your brain interpreting minor stress as major threat. That's your nervous system treating a spilled coffee like a bear attack, and it doesn't stop there. Your insulin sensitivity drops, making it harder for your body to process sugar, which can lead to spikes in blood glucose and increased fat storage. Your hunger hormones go haywire. Ghrelin, the hormone that tells you you're hungry, goes up. Leptin, the hormone that tells you you're full, goes down, which means you crave more food. You eat more. You feel less satisfied, and you gain weight without even noticing the connection. Now imagine you're trying to lose weight, or stabilize your energy, or improve your skin, or balance your mood, but you're running on no sleep. You're working against your biology. And your biology is not subtle when it fights back. But perhaps the most disturbing part isn't how your body breaks down. It's how normalized it's become. We live in a world that celebrates overwork, glorifies burnout, and treats rest like a reward instead of a requirement. People wear sleeplessness like a badge, all-nighters, hustle culture, I'll sleep when I'm dead. They say it like it's a joke, but it's not. It's biology, and biology doesn't negotiate. When you deny your body sleep, you're not just pushing through. You're breaking systems you might not even feel today, but you will feel later. Das. Your memory, in your skin, in your gut, in your blood pressure, in the speed at which your brain processes the world. You can drink all the green juice and go to therapy every week, but if you're not sleeping, you're driving with the check engine light on and pretending it's just a glitch. The truth is, you don't even realize how bad it's gotten until you finally sleep. That moment when you wake up from a full, deep, uninterrupted rest and feel human, clear, stable. Like your thoughts are landing in the right place, like your body isn't fighting you at every turn. That's not luxury. That's how you're supposed to feel. You just forgot, and it all starts with 24 hours. One night. That's all it takes for your body to shift from balance to breakdown. And if that sounds dramatic, it's because it is. Because your brain doesn't wait for you to collapse. It starts protecting itself immediately. Shutting down functions, pulling resources, turning off lights in rooms you didn't know you needed. You feel off. But you can't explain why. You start making mistakes. You snap at people. You forget what you walked into the room for. You reread the same message 3 times and still can't respond. And if you live like that long enough, you stop calling. It's exhaustion. You just call it life, but it's not life. It's a life interrupted. And the worst part? You've gotten so good at surviving that you've forgotten what thriving feels like. So let's bring it back. Let's stop treating sleep like an afterthought. Let's stop pretending we're machines. Let's remember what rest is really for. Not just to function, but to feel, to think, to be who you are, clearly, fully awake. Because the more you understand what's actually happening when you skip sleep, the less you'll see it as something you can afford to lose. And the more you'll realize you're not weak for needing rest. You're wise for demanding it. It always starts with the little things. You blink slower. You forget where you put your keys. Twice. Your words come out tangled. You reread a message and still don't understand what it's saying. You laugh it off. Blame it on a busy day. Call it brain fog, but it's more than that. It's the beginning of your mind unraveling, slowly, gently, invisibly. At 6 hours without sleep, you're probably still functional. Maybe you feel a little off. Maybe you're a little more reactive. You tell yourself it's nothing. You push through. At 12 hours, your body begins to shift. Your cortisol starts creeping up. Your coordination begins to falter. Tiny errors slip into your work. You start second-guessing things. Your thoughts move slower, like someone turned the volume down on your clarity. At 16 hours, you are now technically sleep-deprived. Your reaction time is slower. Your judgment is impaired. Your brain's ability to form new memories is compromised. You feel tired, but not enough to stop. And that's the trap. Because your brain can't scream. It whispers. It hints. It leaves you clues. A stuttered sentence, a forgotten name, a misread moment. But if you keep ignoring those whispers, your brain does something else. It starts turning the lights off, room by room. By 20 hours, your body is running on reserves. Your temperature regulation starts slipping. You get cold for no reason, or sweaty. Your hands shake. Your stomach churns. You crave sugar. You crave salt. You crave something, anything, to trick your body into thinking you're okay. You feel wired and exhausted at the same time, and now you're entering hour 24. And this is where it gets quiet, not because you're at peace, but because your brain is conserving energy. Parts of your prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for logic, emotional control, and focus, begin to shut down. Your body knows. You're not safe, even if you're just sitting on the couch. It doesn't know why you're awake this long. It just knows something must be wrong, so it goes into survival mode. That's why your emotions swing wildly. You go from fine to furious in seconds. You start crying at a commercial. You forget basic words mid-sentence. You pick fights for no reason. Not because you're dramatic, because your brain literally can't regulate anymore. Meanwhile, your visual cortex is overstimulated. Lights feel too bright. Sounds feel too loud. You flinch at things you'd normally ignore. Some people even start seeing flashes of movement, tiny hallucinations that barely register, shadows, glitches, feeling that someone's behind you when no one is. You think you're just tired, but you're slipping into cognitive disintegration. And still, you push, you scroll, you tell yourself, I'll go to bed in a minute. But you're not tired, not in the way that lets you sleep. You're overstimulated. Your brain is in fight or flight, and no one sleeps in danger. So now your body starts looping. Heart rate rises, breathing gets shallow, cortisol surges, melatonin is blocked, your muscles stay tense, your digestion slows down, and your thoughts, they spiral. You start thinking of the worst. Things you said wrong, things you didn't do. Imaginary arguments, fear of tomorrow, regret for yesterday. It all floods in. Because your brain at this point has lost its filters, and then something strange happens. You feel moments of clarity, bursts of energy. You think, maybe I don't need sleep after all. You feel awake. That's adrenaline, your body's final trick. It pumps you with stress hormones so you don't collapse. It gives you one last wave, like a drowning person kicking toward the surface. But it's not real energy, it's borrowed, and it will cost you later. Because after that wave crashes, there's only one thing left: collapse. Not graceful sleep, not peaceful rest, but crash. The kind of sleep where your body gives out, where you miss your alarm, where your limbs feel like concrete, where you wake up confused, dehydrated, foggy, heavy. And even then, even with hours of sleep after the crash, you don't feel better. Because you didn't sleep to restore, you slept to survive. And recovery sleep is not the same. The systems that needed maintenance didn't get it. Your brain didn't enter the deep phases it needed. Your REM was fragmented. Your nervous system stayed alert. You were sleeping, but you weren't healing. So now, you're back at it. Another tired morning. Another day of pretending. Another round of coffee to make it through. But your body remembers. The damage accumulates. One night might not ruin you, but one night leads to another. And another. And suddenly, exhaustion becomes your baseline, and you don't even remember what real energy feels like. So what now? You know what happens when you stay awake too long. You've lived it. But there's more. There's a twist, because your brain has a way to protect you from this spiral. And it starts with something most people never think about. Not supplements. Not sleep hacks. Not 5 a.m. routines, but something much, much simpler. That's what's coming next, and it changes everything. You think your brain needs silence to sleep. You think your body wants stillness, darkness, quiet. But that's not the full truth. Because what your brain really needs is predictability, not perfection, not 8 hours exactly, not some magical bedtime, tea or ideal temperature. Just rhythm, a consistent signal that says, you're safe now. It's time to let go. That's the twist no one talks about. Your brain doesn't fall asleep because you're tired. It falls asleep because it finally believes. It needs cues, patterns. It needs to see the same signals every night. Light goes down, noise fades, body cools, routine begins. That's what makes your brain trust the night. But when you pull an all-nighter, or stay up scrolling, or fall asleep with bright lights and background chaos, you break the rhythm, you confuse the system, and your brain? It hates confusion, because unpredictability signals danger, and danger is the fastest way to destroy rest. That's why your thoughts race, why your body feels wired, why you can't stop thinking. It's not because you're anxious. It's because your brain is looking for a pattern and not finding one, so it stays alert, just in case. But the moment you start reintroducing consistency, even in small ways, things begin to shift. That's the real key. Not intensity, consistency. Even if you don't sleep well at first, even if you wake up, even if your mind wanders, what matters is the signal, the repeated message, you are safe. This is your time to rest. And that message doesn't come from supplements. It doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from the tiny choices you make before you close your eyes. The way you dim the lights, the way you put your phone down at the same time, the way you breathe, slower, with intention, the way you stop trying to force sleep and start inviting it. Because here's the thing, sleep can't be forced, it can only be allowed, and the more you chase it, the more it runs, but the more you create space for it, the more it returns quietly like a cat that finally trusts you again. That's the shift. The moment you stop treating sleep like a performance to master and start treating it like a relationship to rebuild. One decision at a time, one night at a time, and in that shift, everything changes. Your body starts to respond. Your brain lowers the alarms. Your heart rate begins to slow naturally. Your cortisol drops. Your melatonin rises. Your mind, once frantic, begins to hum like a song it remembers from long ago. And you start to feel human again. That's not a miracle. That's biology, working with you instead of against you, all because you chose rhythm over chaos, signals over noise, rest over reaction, and that choice, it's always been yours. You don't need to overhaul your life tonight. You don't need to throw away your phone, change your mattress, or buy another supplement you'll forget to take. You just need to begin. One small signal, one consistent step. Because your brain doesn't want a revolution, it wants reassurance, and that starts with the way you end your day. Right now, most people treat the night like a leftover. They run until they collapse. They check emails in bed. They scroll until their eyes blur. They eat, argue, watch the news, chase noise until their brain is spinning, and then expect it to sleep, as if the body were a switch to flip, as if rest could be demanded on command. But rest doesn't come from exhaustion. It comes from rhythm. So here's the truth you weren't told. Sleep isn't the final act of the day, it's the beginning of tomorrow. And how you approach the final 60 minutes before bed determines everything. So tonight, try this. Don't aim for perfect, aim for peace. Give yourself a time, just one, when the winding down begins. Not when you go to sleep, but when you start telling your body that it's time. It could be 9:30 p.m., it could be 11 p.m. What matters is the message. We're done for today. You don't need candles and spa music, you need consistency. Turn off overhead lights, use a dim lamp. Lower the volume on the world, literally and emotionally. If you can, leave your phone in another room. But if that feels impossible, at least set it aside. Turn it face down. Put it on airplane mode. Tell your nervous system, nothing more is coming. You're safe now. And then, do something simple. Not stimulating, not productive, just gentle. A book. A hot shower. Stretching. A quiet voice note to yourself. Not about your to-do list, but about what you're grateful for surviving today. Because that's what tonight really is. A marker. You made it through one more day. And now your body needs permission to let go. That permission doesn't come from pressure. It comes from presence. And if your brain still races, if your thoughts still loop, don't fight them. Don't yell at yourself to relax. Don't turn sleep into another goal you're failing to reach. Instead, observe them. Let the thoughts pass like traffic on a distant road. Don't chase them. Don't engage. Just breathe. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Longer on the exhale. Not because it's a magic trick, but because it tells your brain, we're not in danger anymore. Your body listens. Every breath is a signal. Every pattern is a doorway. And if sleep still doesn't, come? That's okay. Because you're still rebuilding trust, and trust takes time. But every time you show up, same time, same rhythm, same quiet choices, your brain remembers. And slowly, the panic fades. The racing thoughts soften. The chaos dims. Sleep doesn't rush in. It returns like a friend who needed space but missed you more than you realized. And when it does come, you'll know it wasn't forced. It was earned. Not by effort, but by allowance. So here's what you do tonight. Not perfectly, but gently. Pick a time. Wind down, dim the lights, put the phone away, breathe. Say to yourself, even out loud, it's okay to rest now, and do it again tomorrow. And again the next night. Not because it fixes everything overnight, but because it starts something your body has been waiting for. A rhythm, a return, a rescue. The kind that doesn't need a routine planner or a motivational quote, just you, showing up for yourself in the quietest, simplest way possible. And if you forget tomorrow, that's fine. No shame. No guilt. You don't have to do it perfectly to do it powerfully. Just remember this. Sleep doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to feel welcomed. And tonight, for the first time in a long time, you're ready to open the door. Take a breath. A real one. Not the shallow, rushed kind you take between tasks or between thoughts, but one that feels like permission, because tonight, you have permission. Permission to let go of the noise. Permission to stop chasing sleep like a prize you haven't earned. Permission to soften. You don't need to become someone new. You don't need to master some rigid nighttime routine. You just need to start sending your body the right signals, consistently, gently, and with kindness. Sleep is not a reward. It's a right. But in this world where overstimulation is currency and exhaustion is normalized, you've been led to believe that rest must be earned. It doesn't. It just needs space, and you have the power to create that space, starting tonight. Not by doing more, but by doing less of what doesn't serve you. Less caffeine, less chaos before bed. Less noise in your nervous system, less pressure to perform even while you're trying to rest. And here's something no one tells you. Every night is a chance to reset. Every night is an invitation to return to yourself. Sleep is not separate from your life. It is the part of you that keeps you whole. When you protect your sleep, you're not just improving your nights, you're shaping your mornings, your focus, your patience, your creativity, your joy. Sleep is not about escaping the day. It's about preparing for who you'll be tomorrow. Because the version of you who wakes up rested, she's stronger, more grounded, more present, more herself. That version isn't far away. She's just on the other side of a few new patterns, a few small choices, repeated with care. So here's the seed I want to leave with you tonight. What you do before bed is what decides who you'll be when you wake, and that version of you, the one who wakes up clear, steady, and okay, she's already within you. You don't need to chase her. You just need to stop blocking the path. So let's make tonight different. Not dramatic, just intentional. Close the screen. Dim the lights. Thank your body. And let sleep come to you. Not as something you achieve, but as something you remember how to receive quietly, softly, fully. You're not broken, you're just tired, and you finally know why. If any part of this video made you pause and think, if even one of those habits felt uncomfortably familiar, that's not a bad sign. That's awareness. And awareness is where real change begins. Your sleep doesn't need to be fixed. It just needs to be respected. And sometimes that starts with removing what doesn't belong, so your body can finally do what it's always known how to do. Rest. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these habits shows up in your nights the most? Let me know in the comments, or just drop the number that hit you hardest. And if this video helped you, subscribe. This channel is here to help you sleep softer, deeper, and without the noise. You're not alone in this. You're just one night away from feeling different.